My name is Farron. My name is Farron. And for most of my life, I've been the kind of man who prefers to observe patterns rather than jump to conclusions. This mindset has served me well in business, where patience and precision often lead to better results than impulsive decisions. For a long time, it also served me well in my marriage, until it didn't. I was married to Mayan for 6 years. To most people looking from the outside, we seemed solid, not flashy or overly affectionate, but steady. We weren't the couple who posted love notes or anniversary collages on social media. Instead, we kept things private, quiet, and, at least I believed, built on mutual respect. We had our routines. Morning coffee in our own mugs. Quiet evenings cooking simple dinners. Weekends spent relaxing in the calmer corners of the city. It felt comfortable, reliable. Then came a Thursday night, the moment the first real crack in our marriage appeared, though at the time, I didn't recognize it for what it was. Mayan had promised to be home by 8 p.m. I decided to cook her favorite pasta, with fresh basil. 8 came and went, then 9. By 10, the pasta had gone cold, stuck to pot. She finally walked in at 10:42 p.m., looking off, not drunk or messy, just unsettled, like someone caught in the rain without an umbrella. Mayan loosened the straps on her heels. "Work ran long," she said. "New campaign. Everyone's pulling double shifts." I raised an eyebrow. "You didn't text." "I got worried." She shrugged casually. "Phone died." She set down her bag, but something in the tilt of her chin told me she was uneasy. Still, I wanted to believe her. I forced myself to nod, to accept her explanation. Then I caught a faint scent, citrusy perfume, the one she used to call too flirty for the office. She had stopped wearing it months ago for exactly that reason. Trying to keep my voice light, I said, "You're wearing the old perfume. Thought you didn't like it anymore." A flicker of tension crossed her face. "Oh, I must have grabbed it by mistake. Didn't realize." I didn't push. It's not my style to corner someone. But later that night, while she was brushing her teeth, I saw her phone lying on the kitchen counter. I picked it up. The battery was at 47%, clearly not dead, and I hadn't seen her charge it. I set it back down. No proof, just a feeling. That strange, subtle instinct you get when someone you love begins stepping into shadows. The following week, Maya mentioned someone new at her office, a man named Tyson, a consultant from Los Angeles, helping with their digital strategy. She was tossing salad at the kitchen island. "He's got that typical California calm," she said. "Like nothing rattles him. People here could learn a thing or two." I took a sip of water. "Tyson, huh? So he's your boss now?" "Not exactly. We just work closely together. He's sharp." Her tone was cool, almost clinical, but too controlled, like she was trying not to sound interested, which only made her interest more obvious. Over the next few days, she brought up Tyson at least 6 times. Small anecdotes about his work ethic. Comments about how everyone at the office admired him. One evening, I found her giggling at something on her phone. "What's funny?" I asked. She quickly turned the screen face down. "Oh, just a meme. Work stuff." I nodded. Quietly. I'm not the yelling type. I don't demand answers. I observe. I collect data, dates, times, patterns. That's how I approach everything in life. By the end of that same week, her late nights became more frequent. One night she came home close to midnight, saying she had spent hours reviewing decks with Tyson. She wore a blouse I recognized, one with delicate buttons. They were mismatched by one, like she had redone them in a hurry. She also wore her pearl earrings, the same ones she usually saved for our anniversary dinners. That night, I started taking notes. Literally, I didn't hire a private investigator, but I started keeping a small log on my phone. On Monday, Megan mentioned a strategy dinner with upper management. I checked her office calendar on our shared tablet. There was no such meeting listed. On Tuesday, I called her office at 7:15 p.m. A junior analyst named Serena answered. She said Megan had left hours earlier, saying she had dinner plans. On Wednesday, I cleared my schedule in the afternoon and parked across the street from her building at 5:50 p.m. At 6 o'clock, I saw her walk out. She was wearing a sleek black coat I hadn't seen in years, tight jeans, and darker lipstick than usual. A tall, confident man followed her. He had that laid-back California vibe. She laughed at something he said and rested her hand on his arm. I didn't follow them. I had seen enough. That night. She came home close to midnight with a detailed story about how the team went out for drinks and ended up brainstorming at someone's apartment. I just nodded, barely responding. She said, almost too casually, Tyson might be moving back to L.A. in a few weeks. Guess he's not sure yet. I quietly said, is that so? Inside, I felt a cold certainty. Something between us had cracked. And she wasn't even trying to fix it. She was drifting away, caught up in something new. I made a decision that night. If she was going to leave, I wouldn't fight for someone already halfway out the door, but I would control how it ended. The next morning, I made pancakes. I didn't do that often, so naturally, she looked puzzled when she walked into the kitchen, her hair still damp from the shower. Pancakes? What's the occasion? She asked, frowning slightly. No occasion, I said with a calm smile. Just felt like being good to my wife. She smiled back, but there was hesitation in her eyes, a mix of guilt and caution. It felt like she sensed I knew something but wasn't sure how much. That Friday, I suggested we go out to dinner. Just the two of us. Phones off. We barely talk anymore. I said, let's have a real conversation tonight. No distractions. She agreed a little too quickly. Sure, that sounds nice. Guilt makes people agreeable. She seemed relieved, maybe even hopeful that I just wanted to reconnect. The truth was, I wanted to see if she'd be honest before I confronted her. We picked a small restaurant in Midtown. Quiet, dim lighting, intimate. She wore a simple black dress, understated but elegant. I couldn't help but notice how beautiful she still was, and how far apart we had grown in just a few weeks. The first half of dinner was filled with polite small talk, vacation plans we never took, her new responsibilities at work, a few updates about my job. But every time I got close to something real, she deflected or changed the subject. When dessert arrived, I leaned in and lowered my voice. Do you ever think about how marriages fall apart? Her eyes narrowed. What do you mean? It doesn't happen all at once, I said, gently tapping my fork against the plate. It's subtle. Late nights turn into lies. And then a hand rests on someone else's arm. Suddenly, everything shifts. She froze, spoon midair, then slowly set it down. Farron, what are you saying? She asked quietly. I saw you on Wednesday evening. With Tyson. I was parked across the street. I watched you laugh with him, like you'd forgotten I existed. Her face went pale. She swallowed hard. You followed me? She said. No, I replied. I observed. There's a difference. She didn't deny it. That was the first real emotion I'd seen from her in weeks. Her polished mask slipped, revealing fear and regret. I'm sorry, she whispered. It's not what you think. I'm not asking for an explanation. Just one question. I leaned forward and looked her straight in the eyes. Are you in this marriage or are you out? She opened her mouth, but no words came. The silence between us said everything. Her eyes darted around and she rubbed her thumb like she was trying to erase something invisible. I haven't slept with him, she finally said. I didn't ask that. It's not like that, she said, voice trembling. He's easy to talk to. I started looking forward to seeing him, feeling notice again, laughing. She trailed off. She couldn't finish. I took a slow, measured breath. So you wanted something extra on the side. That's not fair, she snapped. I didn't mean to hurt you. No, I said. What's unfair is watching your wife slowly slip away while she pretends everything's fine. She pushed her dessert aside and lowered her head. Then came the words that ended everything. I think I need space, she said. Just a weekend to clear my head. I leaned back, strangely calm. A weekend with him? She hesitated, then quietly said, yes. Something inside me detached, like an anchor chain snapping. I see. Her voice was thin now. I'm not asking your permission, Farron. I'm just asking for your understanding. I need to know if this thing I feel is real, she said. or just an infatuation? My jaw tightened, but my voice stayed calm. So you want 3 days to step out of our marriage, to test drive another life? She looked at me, pleading. I'm asking for honesty. From both of us. I finished my drink in one swallow, set the glass down with a soft clink. No, Megan, you're asking for an escape without guilt. Take your weekend. But when it's over, don't expect to find me waiting. I stood, left the check on the table, and walked out. That night, I didn't slam the door to our house. I didn't toss clothes around or leave a dramatic note. That's not who I am. Instead, I quietly packed a suitcase, some clothes, important documents, and a small box of old photos that still meant something. She wasn't home, probably already with him. By the time she texted, "Can we talk?" I was already checked into a short-term rental across town. Different name, just in case she came looking. Saturday passed. Then Sunday. A few texts came in. Then a longer email Monday morning. I didn't open it. I didn't need explanations or a half-hearted apology. Confusion doesn't excuse betrayal. That afternoon, I went back to the house while she was out. I walked through every room one last time, quietly saying goodbye to what we once had. I grabbed the final things I wanted. A jacket, a spare charger, some shoes, and the watch she gave me during our 2nd year of marriage. Then I took off my wedding band and placed it on the dining table. Next to it, a folder with divorce papers, my signature already there. On top, I left a note. One line: you don't get to test drive other lives and come back to mine. No threats, no anger, just the truth, and a period. I walked out for the last time. She called that night. I let it ring. There's a difference between leaving in anger and leaving because you're simply done. I wasn't angry anymore. I was done. The weeks blurred into months. The divorce moved faster than I expected, probably because she didn't contest anything. She didn't ask for much. Maybe she still thought I'd changed my mind. I moved into a small, modern apartment. Peaceful, quiet, no more late-night anxiety, no guessing games, no cold distance. Just me, breathing freely. Megan kept the house, the furniture, even the framed photos. I imagine her walking through those rooms, feeling the echoes of what we lost. Sometimes she texted on my birthday or sent polite, business-like messages. I replied briefly, without warmth. About a year later, I got an email from a woman named Aaliyah. She said she used to work with Megan. The subject line read, "I thought you should know about Tyson." Curiosity got the better of me. I opened it. Aaliyah told me Tyson left Megan 6 months after our split. He wasn't faithful to her either. He was seeing other women, younger hires. Megan didn't take it well. I closed the email with a small smile. It didn't change anything. I already knew how that story would end. A few weeks later, I ran into Megan by chance at a downtown cafe. She looked smaller, dimmer, like a light inside her had burned out. She had a half-finished cup of tea in front of her, a paperback face down on the table. Our eyes met. "Farron," she said with a faint smile. "It's been a while." I nodded politely. "Megan." We stood there, thick with unspoken regrets. She gestured to the empty seat beside her. For a moment, I thought about it, sitting down, talking. Then I remembered the nights I spent alone, the silence, the empty bed, the trust that broke like glass. "You look good," she said softly. "Thanks. You too." A lie, but I said it gently. She looked tired, as if she was carrying weight she no longer knew how to set down. "Do you ever think about what happened?" she asked. "No," I said. "I lived it." That was enough. Her eyes blinked quickly, tears forming. But I felt no need to comfort her. I gave a polite nod and walked away. I didn't look back. I didn't need to. It's been 3 years since I left that house, since I placed my ring on the table and closed the door behind me. People sometimes ask if I'd ever get married again. My answer is always the same. Maybe, but only if it comes with peace, not noise. That's not fear. That's clarity. I know my worth now. I won't negotiate with someone who's unsure if I'm enough. I still see Megan sometimes, at social events or in passing. She smiles, as if we're just distant acquaintances. I smile back. No bitterness. Just history that doesn't need repeating. She remarried, briefly. It didn't last. Rumor is, he traveled a lot. Megan suspected he was cheating. She found proof, confronted him. He walked out. No yelling, no closure. Karma doesn't always roar. Sometimes it just holds up a mirror. As for me, I'm seeing someone now. Her name is Enya. She's not dramatic or flashy. She talks straight, laughs easily, doesn't play games. With her, I don't feel the need to chase attention or prove my worth. I just feel seen. It's clean. It's safe. It's real. A few weeks ago, I was cleaning out old files on my laptop. I found a folder of pictures from my time with Megan. We looked so young, so sure of ourselves, smiling like nothing could go wrong. But I didn't feel sadness. I felt gratitude. Because the moment someone shows you they're willing to risk everything you've built together for something temporary, they've also given you a gift. Freedom. I don't need revenge. I don't need 1,000 apologies. I just needed the truth. And once I had it, I made my choice and never looked back. That's the part people forget. You don't win by begging someone to choose you. You win by walking away when they don't, and by staying gone.